and we will click up at some other time or link up at some other time. I cannot do AAS and Rev G or Liz. So fuck all three of
Well,
them.
hold
But
on.
I will talk with you later and come hang out with you at another time, but I cannot do the Three Stooges.
Anti-Afro Svengalis, I wanted to let you hear right up the top what we're dealing with. You have, again, Nikki Proctor Walden attacking people just because there's mutual support between me and them. Liz Martin did nothing to Nikki Proctor Walden. Rev G did nothing to Nikki Proctor Walden other than to provide her with support and set appropriate boundaries. So we're existing harmoniously. Here we go again for the second time in a week in a live stream. And guess who starts shit? Who always starts shit and never ever thinks anybody has a right to respond. I need to play some additional clips before I give you all the details of why I'm posting this video, but I'm going to make this clear. There is nothing anybody can say or do to me to get me to back down when it comes to defending my rights. There is simply nothing you can do, especially if you are a female. So let me tell you, Nikki Proctor Walden, all your vulgar, disgusting tirades do nothing but make you look like the fool that you are. You have no self-control, and that is to your detriment. You will never, no matter what you do or say, get me to go down below sewer level with you by sexually harassing you, by threatening you with violence. So before I continue on, I want you to hear the rest of the comments that Nikki Proctor Walden made, causing trouble in a live stream where people were coexisting in harmony and civility was reigning supreme until she opens her mouth, until she typed her comments. Stay tuned and I will return.
But I'm going to get off of your live because this is not about me, but it's also not about others who showed up once I mentioned their names. I can't walk in fear, but I'm not going to fuck around in foolishness either. I just don't have time for that. I have bigger fish to fry and things that are way more important to me. The loss of my dad, brought me to my knees, but
Right.
I'm still the soldier and I'm still solid as fuck like he raised me to be.
Right.
And I need for people to understand that. And just because I'm kind of quiet, it doesn't mean that I don't have shit in the works that won't bust your ass. And I say that in the name of academia and the good Lord and all that is righteous, holy, divine, and spiritual. I've been in situations where people have come for me like AAS and I have asked her to leave me alone and she refuses. So continue to post pictures of the president of my institution and ask people to call there. I promise you it won't bode well for you. Asking
And
your
it's,
friends and minions to call the FBI on me, that's not going to bode well for you either. I
I
don't
could
have smoke with
never,
AAS. I just don't like her as a person. She has smoke with me. But I
for
bring heat that's
everything
something
in
totally
general.
different. I'm intense.
Contestants, they have
Ass
us like it's
quitting with the who
political.
brought up my name first. This is not the goddamn playground. Girl, go on somewhere. Bitch
If you
and
want to
the
come
bigger
at
bitch. I came to enjoy what you had to say, not what those two motherfuckers had to say. Godspeed and all that good shit. And everybody else, as I said, when I came on Carrie Ann's show, right after my father had passed, I am always serving plates of my shit for anybody to eat. And it's always fresh. Well, people, it's obvious one of the goals that NPW has is to try to get me to say what she says. That's why she's always pursuing a discussion with me. It will never happen. I will never again dive below sewer level and replicate anything that you say or do. Example, she, for some reason, keeps bringing up this invitation for people to eat her shit. What does she expect any of us to do? In kind, respond to her. That's what she does. She has to keep coming up with these outrageous, ridiculous statements. And I'm quite sure in the moment it might give her relief, but the frustration builds again because she can't get us to do what she wants. So she continues to lash out at us. When I say us, me and people who have mutual support in this space. The comments that she makes, the statements she makes are a detriment to her. They have no impact on me.
I cannot be held responsible for what she is saying. As the host was trying to keep her on track, she kept veering off, wanting to look and see what we were writing in the chat and responding to. She's so reactive to every single thing. Like I was telling you, if you don't have self-control, you're going to cause a lot of problems for yourself. And her mouth is far ahead of her mind, which is a bad sign. So let me make it very clear. Nikki Proctor Walden also has to lie. She has no other leverage. I'm not repeating the things that she has stated. I'm not repeating the things that she has stated. She can't even get the F word out of me. There's no time I've ever uttered the F word here on YouTube. You don't even have that on me. So she continues to make up even more lies. She's trying to get people, what do you call it? It's kind of silly because you cannot get everybody against me. That will never work. But she tries and she tries and she tries. She says, I told people, listen to this, I told people to call the college where she works and to call the president. You know that she's lying, right, people? She's lying straight to her teeth. And I'm going to prove it to you right here and now. Someone who I have 50 clips, at least 50 clips of her sexually harassing me. I'm going to give these clips to the president of the college where she works. As after all, Nikki Proctor Walden said the president is going to back her up. I'm going to take her up on her challenge.
AAS, fuck you, okay? Fuck you with the biggest dick you can take.
But I didn't really want shit. I just came up to just say a couple things about AAS. Bitch, I'm still solid. I'm unfuckwittable. And, give me a couple more weeks to grieve my daddy because unlike yours, mine actually loved me.
These are the types of statements that Nikki Proctor Walden seems to think that the college president is going to support, endorse, or ignore. Well, that remains to be seen. What did she say about that? Here is the situation. It doesn't matter what NPW states. I am not dumb enough to think she can intimidate me out of filing a complaint against her. She was the one that brought up the president and stated the president would back her up. I'm taking NPW up on her challenge. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference what kind of threat she tries to level against me or anybody else who elects to file a complaint. But she lied to you and told you that I told people to call the college. You are a liar. You don't know how to defend yourself other than to get completely out of control or lie on people. Another lie she likes to spread around, that I told people to call the FBI on her. And then she comes up with this zany comment on both of these situations, contacting the president and the FBI, and says it wouldn't bode well for me. No, if I had a reason to call the FBI on you, it wouldn't bode well for you. I'm not the one committing the offenses. I'm not the one sexually harassing people. I'm not the one threatening people with violence. You are. So it's not going to bode well for you. I will get punished if I deliberately make a false report. I'm not making any false reports to any agency. When I make reports, I have documentation of what I am claiming. And she has left documentation all over these YouTube streets. And her frustration is she can't get any of us to replicate her conduct. So she can say, well, look what they're doing to me. And this crap about AAS won't leave me alone. I have over 50, something like 54 audio clips of her sexually harassing me and threatening me with violence. And you saw how she essentially tried to give the host an ultimatum with respect to people in the chat who weren't even doing anything. She always likes to cause trouble. And if you've got a problem with, who does she say up here? You got a problem with Binary Castaway, why don't you take it up with him? You got a problem with Remix, take it up with him. And quit lying on Rev G. Rev G didn't do a damn thing to you other than be a friend you didn't know how to deal with. You don't know how to deal with people who are treating you well. That's the problem. You shit on people who treat you well. And that's your issue to deal with. Just like your so-called friend went and told your personal business all over these YouTube streets and you call the person a good friend, that's your business. But don't you dare try to sit here and shit on Rev G, who hasn't even uttered a single word about your personal business. And we know he knows, because that's the kind of person Rev G is. People confide in him, and you've never once heard him run around here and spread your personal business. So you need to shut your damn mouth. You have a so-called friend who's running around here talking about your marital problems and saying you have health issues, and she blabbed it to Photon. So keep Rev G's name out of your mouth, because you squandered a friendship. You know he was good to you. You were the one that did that. You went around these YouTube streets consorting with those who were threatening his family. And then you want to come up here and act like Gerald said anything to you. He didn't say a damn thing to you in that chat. And you're up here using the F word on him and Liz Martin, who haven't done diddly squat to you. And you know what? You can convince yourself all day long that I did something to you as well. Fine. You know it's a damn lie. You're the one running around here telling people to eat your shit, telling me to get F by a big dick and all this stuff. It goes on and on and on. You have a lot of nerve coming up here trying to act like you're a victim. You are not a victim. You are not scaring anybody out of exercising their rights. You can continue to try and try and try. It will never work. You will not subject me to a single solitary legal consequence. I'm breaking no laws. I know that, and you know that. But I implore you, anytime you feel you need to do just that, report my ass to any agency you see fit. I'm in federal court right now, and guess how that's going? To hell in a handbasket, because there is no proof of the bullshit lies I have been accused of. I will get into any legal forum. I am absolutely not going to fight you in these YouTube streets on some forum where you can get up here in that ghetto, jump up on some panel where you have no self-control. I would not lower myself to that level. You do it on a regular basis, and you continue to do it to your heart's desire. That's your problem. You're doing nothing but creating more evidence that people can use against you. You're not going to get me on any panel where you can act the fool. I am not wasting my time. I am not wasting my energy. And you will not tell me where I'm going to go on these YouTube streets. And you sure as hell aren't going to tell me who I'm going to engage and what complaints I'm going to file against your ass. That is my decision. If you don't want people messing with you, stop messing with people. YouTube is a video sharing platform. But no, that's not good enough for her. She wants to go and destroy all these other platforms and disrupt civility and disrupt harmony. This is what she does. It's her MO. She goes to a platform. They're not even talking about me, AAS, or Rep G, or AFW, but she brings up the topic. And not long after that, here come the sexual degradation and the sexual insults and the threats of violence and sucking on the titties and dicks up the ass. Who am I effing? When was the last time? Would you enjoy? On and on and on. This is her MO. Saying, Reg G ain't going to slide in. Like Reg G would even have anything sexual to do with you. Give me a break. So insulting, people. It's disgusting. She doesn't even realize how bad she sounds. And let me make a distinction. This is not the same as what happened with Verla. Yes, Verla, I'm going to comment on you. I can do that. You engaged in a public display, and people can talk about that. You can't tell people they're not allowed to comment on what they saw and heard. You do. Come on. Give me a break. And not just you, the dudes that were involved. It was implied consent. This is someone's platform, and the situation occurred. If somebody did not want to see it, you could just tune out. But with Nikki, what she does, she goes to a platform and just brings somebody's name up and degrades them sexually and sexually harasses them and threatens them with violence. That's a very different situation, people. Very different. You cannot even compare the two when it comes right down to it. I wanted to make sure I made that clear. This is something else that needs to be made clear. I hope nobody ever believes that you don't have a right to speak out if somebody is subjecting you to sexual harassment, sexual degradation, and threats of violence. Trying to tell you got to keep it on YouTube. Where the hell did they come up with that? You don't have to keep it on YouTube. If you elect to ignore it, you can. But you do not have to tolerate this kind of conduct. Speak up, speak out, ask for help if you want the person to stop and they refuse to stop. That's why I'm going to continue to speak out on it. There's no way in hell people think they're going to get up here and say whatever the hell they want about people and tell you you have to shut your mouth about it. Listen, you know there's much more to come. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.